Hey all, it's Vera, and I'm doing a weekend love reading. I have a bunch of things I want to say too. I've been thinking about them since I woke up early. But I might get the piles going first. It's going to be a pick-a pile. So, what might surprise you at this time? I already shuffled the cards. What might surprise you at this time? Where might things shift into a happier state in ways that might also feel unexpected or even uncomfortable? What may you draw upon and build upon from the past? And what may you release from the past? What may you build upon or draw upon from the very recent past? The first one was more like the deep past. And what may you release from the very recent past? What may you build upon in this moment? What may you release in this moment? Where are the ancestors supporting you and how are they supporting you? Okay, and then I might also draw clarifiers. Okay, so it's gonna be the rose quartz, the aventurine, and the amethyst piles. But I wanted to say to you, we're in a time of quantum healing and quantum coming into alignment. I don't want you to be critical of yourself in any way. I don't want you to listen to any advice that makes you feel critical of yourself. I mean, anything that helps you is fine. But just be very discerning and trust yourself and trust those sweethearts whose heart you resonate with. I mean, like important people in your life, including your beloved person that you're probably thinking about if you're looking at this video, to deeply trust yourself, okay? And also, gosh, there were a lot of words flooding through my mind that I wanted to share with you. But that's just one form of expressing it. So there's a quote by Caroline Myss, who's kind of this awesome self-taught medical intuitive, and it was a conversation she was having with Oprah Winfrey on, I think, on some Super Soul Sunday or something like that, right? And and Oprah was saying, like, in relationship, how do you know? Like, I mean, obviously, in order to have a relationship, there has to be compromise, right? Conversation, understanding, and like, and she said, well, and Caroline said, well, the way you know if the compromise is right or aligned is if you don't betray yourself. And somewhere within you, even in the darkest times or the most entrapped times, you know if you're betraying yourself. So within this sacred relationship, you really, first of all, in a way, there's no way in which you can possibly betray yourself, so you almost don't have to worry about it, like I'm saying. But as we move deeper into union, know that you yourself are union. In a recent video, I said, I've been on a bunch of videos lately. I think I even named the Scorpio reading for this beginning of September, the integrity of vulnerability. As you move clearer into yourself, you almost have more strength to reveal your own vulnerability. And there's the vulnerability of being true to yourself in a culture and perhaps in a life in which that wasn't always safe to do. Okay, can you stop? Because I'm trying to work here. Okay, I'm a little bit getting all over the map with what I'm trying to say. One main message I want to tell you is, when you're looking around for advice, such as watching this video, or just for company or whatever, trust yourself. If something doesn't feel right, if something feels punitive or judgmental, or even in the subtlest of ways, just if it doesn't resonate with you, trust that. Trust your own knowing. Don't put it in in the authority of another person. You are the authority on your own life. You are your own dreams coming true. You are your own union coming into alignment. The deeper you can trust in yourself and the sweetness and the knowing of the starlight that flows through your heart and your veins, and what you know on a soul level, and what your cells know, and what your gut knows, and what your loins know, and everything. Like, you know. And the deeper you come into a clarity of self-knowing, where you're not overextending yourself or not like adjusting to fit or try to make life fit into something that's not actually in alignment with your soul's true shape, you don't need to, we release all of that now. We are in a time of quantum healing and building structures of joy for all of us to live in our soul's true shape. And as we do that, we heal ourselves and we heal each other. And also, you're already doing it. Like, everything, your life is a ceremony. Everything you've done, everything you are doing, everything you will do is your union, your divine union in yourself and with your beloved and with everyone in your life whose, souls have entrusted themselves to each other. Okay, I'm not saying that anything where people are being violated is okay. It's not. What I'm saying is, on this deep, deep level, we are coming into such alignment that it is renewing the entirety of our planet, our bodies, our whole solar system is, and our whole universe, beyond what we can know with our human mind is supporting this, but we can know the pulsing joy of unconditional love in these gorgeous bodies that we've chosen to inhabit for this period of time. Okay. How are the ancestors? If you've chosen the rose quartz, and then there's also aventurine and amethyst. I think I kind of started at the bottom last time, but I'm going to start. How are the ancestors supporting you? Mother Ming. I'm actually looking these up in the book. I hope this doesn't go too long. Intention. Your intentionality is your inheritance. Okay, the shadow is reactivity. So just know the depth of loving intention that has brought you here through your line. So many terrible things have happened in human history, but there's been so much care and nurturing, and that is all supporting you. Okay, where may something surprise you? Oh my gosh, how quickly you might come to be housed in a house of love with your beloved, even if the circumstances seem impossible. These two women, we're living in a time when homosexuality was hardly accepted, but they managed to make a home together. Okay. Oh, I think I'm telling their story slightly incorrectly. They began, Jane Addams and maybe I'll read the thing. Because there are other women who I think this deck has for the Two of Cups, who were these kind of aristocratic women in England at some point that actually lived together, as if they were married. Jane Addams and Ellen Gates Starr were in a relationship, but I'm not sure they actually lived together. But Jane Addams was the one who started the first sort of halfway houses, or like she was one of the first social workers. Yeah. Anyway, I'm reading this. So together they founded Hull House, right? Oh, and became domestic partners while they lived there together, as they were doing their mission work, obviously taking care of others, and but also they did live there together. So yeah, I wasn't off. Okay, so that is what may surprise you at this time. And then what may shift happily, is any kind of conflict that you've had to be engaged in. We move so deeply away now from conflict as any, it's from having to be resolute in conflict in order to exist fully. We inhabit the depths of our soul's true shape, and we know that life's deepest sweetnesses are the truth. Okay, what we can build upon from the past is all of our good works that we've already done, all of the efforts and creations we've already worked upon support us as we move forward. And what we can release is the need of any sharp clarity. It can be a soft clarity. And what we can build upon from the recent past is the subtleties of like being able to stay in our witness perch, as the astrologer Lorna Bevan says, to look, to take the larger view and to take rest when we need to, and to reflect. And then what can release from the recent past is feeling burdened maybe by what we feel was that overextension, or just being out of alignment. We can lay that down. Okay, and what we can work from that's happening right now is that the world is supporting us in just the movement of time, and the joy and the sweet playfulness. I mean, this is like a Ferris wheel, right? And what we can release is the Nine of Wands as structures of self-protection. We can release that. Yeah. Okay. All right. I might get one more clarifier. What's likely to happen next? Oh my gosh. So even if there are still ways in which you feel trapped, you have so much to draw upon, where you might feel this old feeling of feeling trapped and abandoned. You can release that. You can release that. The remover of obstacles. Okay. Where are the ancestors? How are the ancestors supporting you at this time? Ocean. Let me see. She's the goddess of water, I believe. A goddess of water. Oh, I hope that this can all be in one video, depending on how much room my phone believes it has. How much room we all believe we have. We have so much room. There's room for all of us. Ocean, where is she? She's with the divine mothers. Ocean. Harmony. Harmony. The gorgeous music of harmony when all are in alignment, when all are in tune with their own true self. Look at this sort of peacock feathers behind. The shadow is discord. So anyway, the efforts and intentionality toward harmony that your ancestors, have stewarded through time is with you now to support you. Okay, where might you be surprised? Just taking a chance on love. And with Joan of Arc as the Fool, I mean, she stood under the tree listening to her voice as her guide to help her with such practical matters that she could even direct armies and military strategies from. You might be surprised by how deeply you can trust what you are grounding here on earth, which is source love, basically, in a nutshell, and how you are grounding it by being yourself, your deepest, truest, sweetest self. Okay, and then where might things shift into a happier Oh my goodness. Is that the king or the queen? It's the queen. So you can trust, you know what I'm going to say, any kind of emotionality that's been sort of tagged and dismissed as feminine, whether you're a man or a woman or non-binary. Anything that's been tagged as feminine, there can be a shift in how it's held within your own understanding. Okay, what can you draw upon from the past? Okay, so your own discernment and the knowing. I mean, when I think about any regrets I've had in life, it's when I have actually been, oh my gosh, the kitties, stop. I'm trying to record. We have one ancient kitty who gets growly with the younger ones because they're a little too raucous for her. Anyway, they all love each other too, but somebody's having a little moment here. Anyway, back to the Caroline misquote I had given before. The regrets I've had in life are when I know that when I've betrayed myself, and you know when you're doing it, even if it's like on some level that you can't really access at that moment. So the thing is to like release those layers so that you can always access the knowing what's right for you in that moment. And so then you build a life that is aligned. That paranormal priestess who I think I may have mentioned before, Elizabeth Grove, she talked about how she actually had a channeled message from Archangel Michael about that the false timelines are no longer available. So like those are timelines where that stem from a self-betrayal. Okay, so you can build upon your own discernment and listening deeply to yourself and trusting that what you can release from the past. Is any kind of rule-bound structure that is not based in joy, that is not based in everyone being in their own soul's true shape, that is based in like severe, cruel hierarchies and rules that lack understanding of human experience. And anyway, you can release programming, basically. Okay, what can you build upon from the recent past is your own ability to birth and rebirth life here on earth, your fertility, whether like physical fertility or simply your imaginative fertility. There's all kinds of ways to create and sustain life. Okay, so you can build on that. And then what can you release? Oh my God, I am so into seeing that. This, you can release any confusion that's built upon illusions that would only be in place because you're not actually allowing yourself to listen to yourself. Okay, so there's moments where it's like you want to not listen to yourself, maybe to like keep things, like to keep the small measure of happiness that you think you're allowed, but really, like, you can't. Again, the lines where you're betraying yourself or confusing yourself almost purposely, or allowing yourself to be mistreated. Not that anyone is meaning to mistreat you, but okay. Just clarity. You can release the lack of clarity. You know what you want. Okay. What was this supposed to be? I guess what you can rely on and draw upon in the present moment, right, is your own strength. And you can release, I guess, the containers of how you think things might need to be in order to come into an alignment that feels completely right for you. So, like, maybe you are thinking of the way things have to be. Like, if you're already putting that upon it, then you're almost not letting it come in a way that is true to you and to the other. I don't know, it's a very subtle distinction because I really want you to not go away from yourself by like accepting. There's a video that Erica Elmott, some of her more recent ones I can't watch because I just can't deal with things that feel at all like telling me I'm doing something wrong. But the one that she did recently, called The Importance of Choosing You on the Twin Flame Journey, is really important. Like, why are you still accepting this reality if it's really not okay with you, and you can feel in your bones that it's not okay with you? It's really troubling and difficult for you. Then come out of that and trust in life that if you are, not betraying yourself, again, back to the Caroline myth, then things will sort out in a good way. Another thing I wanted to say today was not only like being in a relationship shouldn't be difficult, shouldn't require you to betray yourself, also the way you make a living shouldn't require you to betray yourself as we go into these new times. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next pile. These are, if you want a reading that's simply like incredibly ecstatically happy, sort of long run, timeless reading, the one that I did last Friday was incredible. It thrilled me. This is particularly for this weekend, so that's what these are for. Okay, so the amethyst pile, what can you draw upon from your ancestors? Haumea. Okay, let me look her up. And we know we have a planet or a asteroid named Haumea that is one of the ones that 5D astrologers like Lorna Bevan at Hair in the Moon Astrology take into account. I mean, she's not the only one, but I love her work. I love the way she writes. Okay, and the way she comprehends nurturing, and the shadow is neglect. So all the nurturing, again, all of these are about the nurturing, the kind intentionality of creating a world of harmony where everyone is cared for, everyone is seen, everyone is cultivated in their human dignity. This is really, all of these are about, it's the Mother's Wisdom deck. They're all like the nurturing line that's not necessarily all done by women. Fathers and others can do this as well. But my grandfather certainly was really helpful to me in that way, especially as a young adult. But so it's just the nurturing and care that's gone into the raising of children throughout the ages, and you can, and the creating of families and the tending of community throughout the ages. You can draw upon that as we move into this time where we're really rebirthing that, because we've gone astray in a lot of ways. What may surprise you is that you're working together. Even if it seems like you're not working together with the person you're thinking of, you actually are working together. Like, and even if it seems like you're not healing each other, or you're not coming together, and you're not like experiencing this joy in each other in the way that you really want to, like in person right now, it is all happening. It is all happening. Okay. Octavia Butler, she is a writer, an awesome writer, and I remember reading an interview with her where she said that she already knew ahead. I've read this with some other writers too, and probably other figures as well, but I'm a writer myself. So she already knew before she wrote the books that these would bring her fame and would be important to a lot of people. So you can already sense the future in the present, and but it's the going through the actual unfolding of it that can sometimes feel difficult, or you can be impatient or whatever. So what may surprise you is discovering later maybe how much you're actually working together right now. What may shift into a happier way is that working together. Oh my gosh, wait, it's the Three of Pentacles twice in a row. So it may shift into something that feels more companionable, or like less lonely, more in person perhaps. What you can draw upon from the past is love. what you can release from the past. Oh, it's the wishing. The wishing. Because it's here. I mean, you can release sort of like wishing for a certain way, like in the other reading over here, for a certain way that it's going to unfold. You can trust in the love. You can trust in the depth of life's sweetness, and release any expectation of how it might play out. And that's kind of a difficult thing between like not letting it play out anymore, no longer being willing to be in a place where it like really not feeling right to you, even though you've done nothing wrong ever. But like I'm at that place right now, like, okay, I can't do this as it's been. And but then you also can't, part of that is releasing your own expectation, because your own expectation is part of like how it's been kind of misaligned a little bit, or confusing a little bit. So the answer is just being in your heart's truth and trusting your gut and trusting yourself, and when you really trust yourself, then you can really trust others. But you've got to really trust yourself. Okay, what you can build upon from the recent past is your good works. Thinking again about, and then what you can release from the recent past. It's weird because this Lover's card reminds me of a third-party situation, because sometimes the Lover's card traditionally is about a choice, a man's choice between two women, which is just totally irritating and problematic. But anyway, and something that happens as well, just a mild thing that happens, but in the way that we've had history that's made men, inflated the importance of men and deflated the importance of women. Anyway, blah blah blah. I don't like this Lover's card. I love this deck generally, but I don't like this card. But trust that every person involved in the situation that's unfolding is angelic. We're all good, and that we are all playing our part in this unfoldment of love. Okay, so you can release jealousy, maybe. Okay, and then what you can draw upon from currently right now, is what you can build upon is laying down your arms. And almost like laying down your clarity. Like, here's my clarity, here's what I understand. It's just like, there can be a simplicity to like, okay, well, the way things are right now isn't okay for me, so I have to like retreat. I can't be in this in a way that's in which I even have to put in too much effort. You can release that effort and you can rest. My little addendum, you can release wishing for it. You can release any confusion. You can know that what is yours is yours. And you can rest in that. And you can revel in that. And it doesn't hurt anyone else. And it is coming soon. It's already already here. This is just the unfoldment. It's the bumpety grounding. It's a somewhat bumpety grounding of heaven on earth, heaven as earth. The like almost strangeness and vulnerability and tenderness of, I think about when I brought my babies home from the hospital, and you're like, oh my gosh, every person I see walking around was once a little baby who, whose mother went to all that trouble for them to be here, and how glorious we all are, and how much we really need to be caring with ourselves and each other and our world. And we're grounding that kind of tenderness in our grid work, in our deep loves, in our passion, in our creativity. We're grounding that like in a new way, where it's like human, the amazingness of human curiosity and invention and love, but not in a way that harms any. You coming into your union, you coming into the deepest alignment of yourself and your joy, doesn't harm you or anyone else. We're collapsing any false hierarchies or timelines, or we're coming into the truth that is joy. And that can be a little startling at times.